Okay. This is a beginner's guide to dive turning. This one's gonna be hard. This one's shorter than my other videos because there's not much substance to this video. However, it's a lot of information. So, pay attention. I'm eyeing you, pay attention. I hope you enjoy the tutorial on how to dive turn. I'm going to explain how it works first, the basic understanding of the mechanic, the fundamentals. If you don't care for that, which I really suggest you watch, like I'm being genuine, you really should watch it, but if you really don't care, whoa, sorry, if you really don't care, that's when I actually start teaching how to do it. So if you only want to do it and get it over with, yeah, skip. But I really suggest you understand how the mechanic works, because that will make you better. Anyways, please enjoy how to dive turn. Let's get into this. So, dive turning works because of the dive mechanic. That's why it's called dive turning. The dive mechanic is the reason for every type of advanced swimming, except for straight line swimming, which you would have seen in this video right here. Or this side. I don't know what side it shows up on. But this is how to dive turn. First off, the dive mechanic works the way it works, like fundamentally in the game, like the way the game processes it, as I understand. Specifically, your left hand, you can't do this because your right hand doesn't work. Your right hand cannot dive turn for you. So this hand is the dive turning hand. You'll hear your left hand called the dive turning hand. The way it works is if your body is moving through space in the direction of your fingers, when you change the angle of your fingers, the direction you move in space will follow. So you can see this if I go. I'm all the way over here now, and I'll show you that a little bit better. As you can see, it works by making your body go that direction. Now, the reason it's specifically your left hand is, well, they chose left hand for reasons unknown, but it's so then you wouldn't conflict, because if it was both hands, you could dive and go like this, and then it would mess up the game. So they just chose left for some reason. So that's how that works. So this is a critical thinking exercise. If I go down and I lift my hand up, I start going forward, and I follow the direction of my fingers, right? So if I do this and I'm going forward, and I do this, what direction am I gonna go? Go on, say it. Left. My body is gonna go to the left. So you can see this and I'm not even gonna do anything special. I'm literally just gonna hold my, and I'm gonna default swim. Watch. I'm default swimming, and I turn, and now I'm going to the left. See, it's magical. Now, dive turning is the, I'm gonna say dive turning is the basis for all turning, which sounds exaggerated, but it's really not. The way the dive turning works is the reason the rest of the turning works. So, dive turning, I'm gonna let you know, dive turning is not an applicable resource. So let me break that down for you. Dive turning is not something you're going to use in a gameplay or in a competitive state or anything like that. The dive turning, the whole point of dive turning is to understand what dive boating is, and then later on motorboat, which will be in a later video. Dive turning, you can turn like this. You're not really going to use that in-game, because as soon as you do this, you can't keep going forward, which is where dive boating comes in, or dive turning and dive boating. I'm going to teach you the rest of dive turning first. So dive turning is here. This is how you turn, and you also turn in real life. So I'll show you. Turning in real life, and now I'm going forward, as you can see. And then I can also, on top of turning in real life, if I want to do a sharper turn, I can turn my hand. I can also turn my hand, so I can go like this and then follow with my body. So now I'm going at a bit of an angle. This is dive turn. Dive turning is specifically holding your hand out in front of you when you swim. Now, dive turning can also be used for jumping. So, from here, I went out of the water. So, you can pair dive turning with straight line swimming, like this. I'm going to do straight line swimming from my previous video. And look at that. Oh, I missed. But still, you saw how I used dive turning and straight line swimming together. Straight line swimming gave me the speed I needed. Dive turning gave me the height. So, that's the magic of... Now, for the actual tutorial part of how to, dive turn. So, for dive turning, you're going to use the method of propulsion from my straight line swimming video, which is somewhere because I still don't know where it shows up. But the way you propel yourself is with angles, right? So like this. So you're going to do this, and this pushes you forward. And when you dive turn, you go forward. So you're going to basically do this, except only with your right arm. This is what you're doing. And then you take your left hand, so pendulum, like this. Let your left arm relax, but keep swinging your right. Put your left arm in front of you, and you're just going to do this in the water. So it looks like this. Pendulum. No more left. And I'm still doing it with my right, see? This is how you dive turn. Now, you're going to do this. This is pretty simple. You just do this, and then just start turning to the left in real life. And then try going in a straight line and just turn your hand. And then turn your body. This is dive turning. But that's dive turning. Now, for dive turning, that's how you dive turn. That's the basics. Dive turning is very simple. Now, next, you're going to learn dive boating. Dive boating is the one type of swim that I'm very bad at. So I'm going to put a clip of my friend who dive boats right there. He's the one who taught me, and this is how he swims. He plays control that way. But for dive boating, it's the same as dive turning, except instead of your hand being in front of you, your hand is down here on your waist. So I'll show you. Your hand is down here on your waist, and you still push yourself forward, and then you turn in real life. Hang on. There we go. See, so my hand is all the way down here, but I'm still doing the same thing. That is how dive turning works, and dive boating. Now that you understand how those two work, we can move on. I don't know. I'm gonna put a clip somewhere on the screen of dive boating from my friend JLE or Prince. He's the one who taught me, mentioned in the first video. There's going to be a clip playing somewhere of him dive boating because his main type of swim is dive boating, and he plays control with dive boating. So you'll see that somewhere. But dive boating has more control than dive turning, but in most cases less control than motorboat. There are people who use dive boating, but they're the exception, barring the extreme, obviously. So that's the basics. Dive turning and dive boating are really just that. There's not much outside of that can be, like, you know, applied. It's hard. It's different, but it's mostly just serves as a segue. In the next video, I'm going to do motorboating, and I'll play motorboating. That one's most likely going to be lengthy. So like I said, this one was packed full of information. I would suggest that you go back and re-watch this. Maybe replay some parts. Watch this while you're in Gorilla Tag. That'll help a lot, but just watch this, because this should help you. And if it doesn't, remember, comment down below. I'm fully very open to criticism. I want to be better. Criticize me, negative criticism, constructive criticism. I really don't care. Any type of criticism, any questions, any requests specifically. I am going to let you know that there is motorboating and advanced motorboating in the works right now. Like, not being edited, but I'm going to record them soon. So, that being said, that is how to dive turn. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!